Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going on an incredible journey through time to explore one of the most influential philosophical movements in history, Stoicism. From its humble beginnings in ancient Greece to its profound impact on modern self-help and psychology, this is a story about wisdom that has shaped minds for over 2,000 years. But before we dive in, if you're new here and love exploring big ideas that can change your life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's begin our journey. The birth of Stoicism. It's here that we meet Zeno of Citium, a merchant who lost everything in a shipwreck. But sometimes what looks like tragedy is actually destiny in disguise. After washing up in Athens, Zeno discovered philosophy and began teaching under a painted colonnade known as the Stoa Poikile. And that's where the name Stoicism comes from, literally meaning of the porch. But don't let that humble beginning fool you. This philosophy would go on to influence some of the most powerful figures in history. The three pillars. The early Stoics organized their philosophy into three core areas. Logic, how we can know what's true. Physics, understanding the nature of the universe. Ethics, how we should live our lives. But here's what made Stoicism different. It wasn't just theoretical, it was practical wisdom for daily life. The Stoics believed that by understanding these principles, we could live better, more fulfilled lives regardless of our circumstances. The golden age of Stoicism. Fast forward about 400 years, and Stoicism has spread from Greece to Rome. And this is where it really starts to get interesting, because now we meet three of the most famous Stoics in history. Seneca, a wealthy advisor to Emperor Nero, who wrote powerful letters about handling everything from anger to death. Despite living a life of luxury, he taught that true happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential philosophers in Rome. His main teaching? It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And perhaps the most famous of all, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. Imagine being the most powerful person in the known world and still taking time each night to write personal reminders about staying humble and focusing on what truly matters. But here's what's really fascinating. These three men came from completely different backgrounds, from slave to emperor, yet they all found wisdom in the same philosophical principles. That's part of what makes Stoicism so powerful. It's universal. The core teachings. The Stoics taught several key ideas that are just as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. 1. Focus on what you can control. The famous dichotomy of control, understanding that some things are up to us and some things aren't. And the key to peace of mind? Focusing our energy only on what we can influence. 2. Our emotions come from our judgments. It's not events themselves that upset us, but our interpretations of those events. Change how you see things, and you change how you feel. 3. Virtue is the highest good. Success, wealth, and fame are preferred indifference. Nice to have, but not necessary for a good life. What matters is living with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. The Dark Ages and Renaissance. During the Middle Ages, Stoic ideas were preserved mainly through Christian writers who saw parallels with their own teachings. But during the Renaissance, there was a huge revival of interest in ancient philosophy. Suddenly, everyone was reading Seneca and Marcus Aurelius again. Their ideas influenced everything from Shakespeare's plays to early American political thought. Modern Stoicism. But here's where it gets really interesting. In the last few decades, there's been an explosion of interest in Stoicism, and it's not hard to see why. In our hyper-connected, constantly changing world, many people are feeling overwhelmed and searching for guidance. And the ancient Stoics seem to have anticipated many of our modern problems. Today, Stoic ideas are being used by business leaders making tough decisions, athletes handling pressure, military personnel dealing with extreme situations, ordinary people managing daily stress and anxiety. The science behind Stoicism, modern psychology, has actually validated many Stoic practices. Cognitive behavioral therapy, one of the most effective forms of psychological treatment, was directly influenced by Stoic philosophy. Studies have shown that Stoic practices can help reduce anxiety and depression, improve emotional regulation, increase resilience, enhance overall well-being. Practical applications. Want to try some Stoic practices yourself? Here are 3 simple exercises. 1. The morning preview. Start your day by anticipating challenges and preparing your mind to handle them well. 2. The evening review-in. Your day by reflecting on what went well, what didn't, and how you can improve. 3. Negative visualization. Regularly imagine losing things you value to appreciate them more and be prepared for change. Criticisms and limitations. Now, Stoicism isn't perfect. Critics have pointed out that it can sometimes be too focused on individual action rather than systemic change. And some people misinterpret it as promoting emotional suppression, which isn't accurate. But perhaps that's missing the point. Stoicism isn't meant to be a complete answer to everything. It's a practical toolkit for living a better life. The story of Stoicism is really the story of human wisdom being passed down through generations. From a shipwrecked merchant in ancient Greece to millions of practitioners today, these ideas have survived because they work. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, the Stoics remind us that we always have control over one thing: our response to events. So what do you think? Could ancient Stoic wisdom help you in your modern life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.